Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Jedi Mantis Tastes. And today, we're going to be trying the Glenfarclas 10-year-old. I put a poll up on Twitter, and this was the winning whiskey. It was a draw between two, this and Glendronach 12-year-old. But since we've already tried the Glendronach 15-year-old, this is completely new, so I went with this one. Interesting little whiskey. Been looking forward to trying this since I saw that it won on the poll. Its main sort of point of interest for me is that it's been owned since 1865 by just one family, and that is the Grants of Glenfarclas. So that's the main thing we're going to be looking at for our little sort of like history section that I like to do for the whiskies. So it all began with John Grant. He was born in 1805 on the farm of Lindbergh in Glenlivet, at the heart of Speysider. So if you can see on the map, Speysider region here, it's very much in that area. He lived at Blairfindie farm, and over the years he became a highly successful farmer, owning several farms already. He of course was interested in the Reclerich, I don't know if I'm saying that right, farm when it became vacant in 1865. It was also renowned in the area for the Glenfarclas distillery that had been established in 1836 by the previous tenant, Robert Hay. When John signed the tenancy agreement in 1865, he also purchased the distillery, and so the story began. John, however, left the Reclerich farm to his son George, and actually sublet the Glenfarclas distillery to a distant cousin by the name of John Smith. And in 1870, however, John Smith left to build the Cragganmore distillery, and that left John Grant, who decided to go into partnership with his son George. And this was also the year for George that he got married, and he went on to have 5 children, including 2 sons, John and George, so keeping it in the family. In 1889, John Grant sadly passed away, leaving both the distillery and the farm to his son George. However, only a year later after that, George also passed away, and that left the license to his widow and his 2 eldest sons, John and George. So looking to expand the distillery and take advantage of the whiskey boom in the 1890s, George and his brother John, they went into partnership with the Leith-based Patterson Elder & Co. And they created the Glenfarclas Glenlivet Distillery Company. Unfortunately though, it was a troublesome partnership and ultimately failed and collapsed. This left the brothers on the brink of financial ruin. 15 years later, after masses of hard work, family commitment, and shrewd accounting, they did manage to resolve the situation, and the future of the Glenfarclas was secure in the brothers' own company, J&G Grant. John actually took early retirement due to ill health, and George continued alone. He was resolved to never again rely on outside investors, and so the spirit of independence was born, and the family are fully committed to this principle and are proud that the distillery continues to prosper as an independent family-owned company. In 1930, The lease was up on the farm, it expired, but George was able to purchase the freehold for Glenfarclas outright, and so the family ceased to be tenants and became owners. A little way down the line, the chairmanship then passed on to George's son. Any guesses what his name was? George S. Grant. The early years, George's tenure was a period of rapid growth and expansion. In the early 1950s, the 1980s Spirit Act, which prohibited the simultaneous mashing and distilling, was repealed. So this effectively doubled the capacity of the distillery. However, every boom is followed by a slowdown. And in 1968, some of the major filling customers announced that they would not be ordering in the following year. George, however, was not one to be disheartened by this and decided to lay down more stock for the distillery's own bottling, rather than rely so heavily on blenders who would buy it, use it in a blended malt, which we haven't touched on here. We just go for the single malt. George S. Grant, the fourth generation and chairman for 52 years, though sadly passed away in 2002. So he then passed on to his son, John L. S. Grant, and he joined the company in 1973 and succeeded his father as chairman in 2002. On joining, John focused on building the sales of Glenfarclas by the bottle rather than in bulk to the blenders. He is based at the distillery, and John ensures that each batch of Glenfarclas is as special as that produced by his forefathers. This includes personal sourcing of the malted barley and travelling each year to Spain to select the very best sherry casks. Must be nice. And that's pretty much the end of the story. He's the current chairman, from what I could find. They do have a website, www.glenfarclas.co.uk. Put a link in somewhere. It'll either be down below, or if I can work it out, put it on the screen. It'll be there. So that's a bit of the history of the site. So it is quite a special distillery that it's still owned by just a single family, and it has piqued my interest in wanting to try this whiskey. So with that, let's get the whiskey. Now, as you know, this is from the Whiskey Shop's Best of Speysider. I showed you that last week. So it is a sample. Got the Glenfarclas glass, the Glencairn glass. Sorry, this is the Glenfarclas. This is Glencairn. And of course, we have our ice water. So having a look in the bottle, we can see here it's very pale compared to what we have been trying on this channel. It is very, very pale, so could be a different taste for us. So we'll open this up and say twist cap because it's a sample, and we'll go in with half or thereabouts. That's about half. I'll just put this lid back on so I don't spill it. We don't want to be doing that. I can smell it already. So having a look here, we can see, yeah, very pale compared to the sherried whiskies we've been trying. So that would potentially suggest this has got no colouring. There's not much on the bottle, but looking at this, when you look at the other sherries, they've got that deeper colour. So I would hazard a guess to say this is not coloured. So this would be a natural colour of a sherry whiskey. I'll have a swirl around with this. Just looking, yeah, it's a pale golden straw sort of colour, like you would see in a farmer's field after they've done the harvest. It's a nice colour. I like that colour. It's nice to have variation in your whiskey, and this is, as I say, a very nice looking whiskey. Going with the nose. That's strong. This is 40%, but this smells a lot stronger. Smells fairly sweet. I'm going to add a drop of water just to release the aromas. I only want a little because it's only 40. Looking at that, it's gone a bit cloudy, so I would say this is non-chill filtered as well. And that's opened it up a bit. It's fairly sweet smelling. There's maybe a hint of smoke at the back there. Just travelling around the glass. Just a little hint. Not so much peat, but a little hint of smoke. Spicy. A bit of honey in there as well. Really has grabbed my interest. I really am looking forward to having a little sip of this. So here we go. There's an almost immediate spice tingle that completely fades away. And it becomes very light, very delicate. No hint of peat, but that smoke flavour is swirling around in there. You can taste the spices in there. So when you first put that in, you get that first hit of the spice, and that quickly just peters out. And that's very delicate, very nice. Taste the malted barley in there. And say that smoke's nice. It's not. I've said before on the channel, I'm not a fan of peated whiskies, but this is not peated, and I've said that a couple of times. I just want to stress that it's not peated, it's smoked. It's very different. I'm getting that honey in there, a little bit of vanilla. It's ultimately very smooth. There's not even a tingle of a burn after that first hit. It's warming the whole throat, but it's not tingling, it's not burning. That smoke's hanging around still, so it's got a nice sort of like lingering effect to the smoke. It's a very delicate whiskey. That's very nice. We'll try it without the water. You got that dark, slightly darker than what it was, but still very pale gold. The more compact smells. Still, you get that punch as soon as you put it in. That little, almost like zip, a little burn, but then it goes. It's not a lasting burn. It's just sort of like saying, "Hello, here I am. I'm in your mouth." Sorry, I don't know where that come from. But it's like announcing that it's there. But it's not. It quickly fades. It still fades, even without the water. That's a smooth whiskey. It's a very drinkable whiskey, this one. The smoke's no stronger. It's there. You can see, you can taste the smoke. You can sense that it's there. But it's no stronger than when I had the water in. obviously a little bit thicker in texture, the liquid. Coats the tongue a bit more. But there's still no burn. Still no burn with it. Very nice. Not much bad to say about that one. The only thing I would say is if you like your strong, your punchy whiskies, maybe don't go for this one. This is a bit smooth. I like a smooth whiskey. I don't always want to be burning my throat with a whiskey. And this one certainly doesn't. So, as I say, very sort of like committed distillery to their principles. May need to hunt this one out. You're not going to find this one so much in the supermarkets, or at least I've never seen it in the supermarket. But I will drop a flash on the screen of websites. It'll obviously be in the description down below, the website links, so that you can go and purchase this one for yourself. I would recommend it if you like a smooth, drinkable whiskey. That's got a depth of flavour to that because the spices are in there. It's still there. I can still taste everything that's going on. It's just sitting around in the mouth. Very pleasant. A lovely whiskey. So that was the Glenfarclas. Next week we will try either the Hague Club Clubman, because I'm running low on that, so I need to do a taste on that if you want to see it, or one that I've just bought today. We have the Old Pulteney. Easy way you can decide which one. There will be a little eye, if I can get this working right, a little eye will pop up either in this corner or in this corner. Click on that, it'll open a little poll. Vote for which one you want to see tasted next. But that has been the episode this week. Glenfarclas 10-year-old. So quite a young whiskey, but doesn't diminish its flavour at all, in my opinion. Haven't tried any of their older stuff, but if it gets even better with age, that's going to be a beautiful whiskey. So thank you for joining me this week. It's been a pleasure trying that one, and I'm already looking forward to what we're going to be trying next week. So join me then. Don't forget to vote. Follow me on Twitter at the Jedi Mantis. I might put a poll up on there as well and then combine the results. Thumbs up the video if you've enjoyed it, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of my future videos. Next video that's up is my 100th video. It more than likely will be a gaming video, and I'm going to hope to get that up tomorrow night. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you again next week for another dram. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.